I try to be polite and civil, but it gets harder and harder every time. Hello my beautiful people out there in vlog YouTube land and wherever else you might be. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we are with the dumb accent again. Not saying this accent is dumb, but it coming out of my mouth is dumb, as I am not in fact anything but an American. We're here in the sanctuary again because it's time for a talk. It's time for a deep thoughts talk because this, oh my goodness, this particular topic, oh my gosh, it's on my mind a lot and I don't believe I have ever talked about it in a video, and I just kind of felt like talking about it because I kind of felt like I'm not the only one who thinks this way, and I kind of thought maybe you guys would understand because y'all are my people. We got the same gears going. You know, we just do. I know it. I see it. I hear it. I smell it. I don't smell it. What am I talking about? Oh, liquid love. It's very hot. Okay, so the thing that's been on my mind, like my entire life, and most notably recently, as I have been thinking like, perhaps I should make a video about this. I really want to. I think it's time. I think it's time to speak out. So you know how people like things, you know, and then you know how people don't like things. Yeah, there's two sides. There's some people who like, you know, sports, okay? There's some people who like certain sports teams, you know? There's some people who like certain sports, not others. There's some people who don't like certain sports teams or players or certain sports. And then there's people like me who don't like sports at all. I mean, I'm not saying I hate them and wish they didn't exist or anything. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a football game. In fact, I probably would avoid it if I could. Or there's certain people who like certain movies and music, and then there's certain people who don't like certain movies or music, any kind of foods, any just, I mean, people even, you know, political figures, celebrities, what have you. Even coffee. Some people like coffee and don't like tea. Some people don't like coffee. Some people do like tea. Some people like both. Some people like neither. It's a preference thing, you know what I mean? There's dog people, there's cat people, there's hamster people, there's probably like weasel people and, you know, canary people and goldfish people and whatever. You get the point, okay? Everybody likes and dislikes all kinds of stuff because there's so much stuff in the world. Unlimited options. You're not gonna like everything. And there's gonna be something that you are gonna like. It's sort of a thing. It's inevitable, you know? Okay, so my point is, and I'm gonna integrate introversion and extroversion into this too, because this was an entirely separate thought, but I found upon examination that it kind of goes hand in hand, like this whole thing. So my point is here, if you have people who are for something, who like something, and are on that side of the spectrum, like I like sports, I like this movie, I like this type of music, I like this type of food, you know, whatever. Fine. But then you get the people on the other side who don't like sports or don't like that particular movie or that particular food or, you know, whatever. You ever notice that the people who do like something are very quick to jump on the people who don't like it and be like, oh my god, you don't like that? Why? Why don't you like that? How could you not like that? Oh my god, you don't like that? Like what? Like why? Like what's wrong with you? How can you not like it? You know, they come like this close to having a nervous breakdown over the fact that you don't like something that they do like. And it's like a federal case, and then you have to like justify why you don't like it, which is annoying and gets really old, especially when you have to do it over and 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 over. Right? Am I right? You know what I'm talking about. But for some mysterious reason that no human being has ever yet figured out, people who don't like something don't really often get on the case of people who do. Huh? I mean, really, think about it. Have you yourself ever done this or experienced it or observed it when someone proclaims, "Oh my God, I love Stone Temple Pilots," and then you or someone else goes, "Oh my God, why? Why do you like Stone Temple Pilots? I just don't understand why. It's just like so awful. Like, how could you possibly like that? Explain it to me. I don't get it. Like why? Like, I could just gag. Like, why? Like, how could you possibly like something so horrible?" You know? You know? Neighbor fellow, why must you pick this moment to shovel? Rude. You know, this is like, the psychology of it is very interesting and also very irritating, because more often than not, people, I'm gonna just say people who are introverted. I'm gonna pull us all together for a moment. I know this obviously is not the case all the time. However, it does seem to be a thing that like the majority of introverts have a lot in common with each other that is on the opposite side of the majority of extroverts, who also have a lot of things in common, and ne'er the two shall meet, you know what I mean? Of course there's gonna be crossovers, of course there's gonna be, you know, blends and things here and there, of course. There's no one set rule for anything. But it does tend to seem to be a thing. Like extroverts, for example, I mean, obviously they like going out, they like socializing, they like events with people and crowds and noise, and they like the stimulation of large bodies of people and sounds and places and conversation and things. They tend to be more into the outward activities, you know, and by outward activities, I of course mean like concerts and sporting events, you know, basically anything that involves going out and being around people. Whereas introverts, on the other hand, they would gravitate more towards, you know, quiet activities, loner activities, you know, like reading or going to libraries or art, or, you know, just listening to music quietly by themselves, or being cat people, you know, or whatever. There tends to be a pretty stereotypical divide, you know. Again, of course it's not 100% the case for 100% of people, obviously, but, you know, just as an example, you know, there's this. So with the like coming at you for not liking certain things, that is definitely an extrovert thing. I'm not like throwing extroverts under the bus here. My boyfriend's an extrovert and he's a lovely human being. I'm not saying that extroverts are bad people. I'm just saying they are all most often in the position of, I like this, I'm vocal about it, I am emphatic about it, I am all about this. Whereas introverts just kind of quietly like what they like, and they're not like super outward about it, and nor do they feel comfortable speaking up or challenging people because they're introverts. They don't like confrontation, they don't like conflict, they don't like socializing, they just kind of would prefer to just be like, okay. Whatever. You know, it's a personality thing. So the extroverts, more often than not, are gonna come at probably each other, but they come at the introverts because we have vast differences in personalities and what we like and dislike, what we're into, the types of things we enjoy. And an extrovert absolutely cannot understand why an introvert would prefer to sit in a quiet room alone with no stimulation apart from maybe some soft music and a book and a cat and a cup of coffee, and that's it. And they don't get it. And they don't get it, and that's fine. In the same way, an introvert does not understand why an extrovert wants to be around 400 people and screaming and yelling with loud music and everywhere. Okay, just saying this is like giving me an anxiety attack. An extrovert will be much quicker to jump on the, oh my God, why don't you like this? You really should try it. I really think that you would like it. I think you would like it if you tried it. You really should try it. How do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? Like, you should really try it. It's the best thing ever. Like, I don't know why you don't like it. There's like no way you couldn't like this. Like, I can't believe you don't like this. It's like the best thing ever. And I, for the life of me, cannot, in any scenario whatsoever, even envision an introvert saying to an extrovert, oh, I really think that you should just try sitting alone in a room with no sound whatsoever and just read a book quietly with nobody around. I really think you'd like it if you gave it a try. How do you know you don't like it if you don't try it? I mean, could you really ever see anybody saying that? You know? It's almost like it's acceptable to push the big extroverted stuff onto the introverts. They're always trying to get us to come out of our comfort zone. you know, and do what they do because they enjoy it. So obviously we're going to, right? No, dude, no. But yeah, they do that a lot. It's like a thing. It's like a thing. It's like, oh, you should really get out of your comfort zone. Like, you should really go out and try this. I mean, you might like it. You should really talk more. You should do this. You should just get out of your comfort zone and try it. I bet you'd like it. Whereas I'm sure it would go over extremely well if an introvert said to an extrovert, you know, you should really get out of your comfort zone and just stop talking for like 3 hours. Just like, don't say anything. Just stop. Just stop talking. Sit alone in silence for a while. I think you'd really like it if you tried it. Okay, that came off really, really creepy, and because I mean, you know, that's weird. Socializing is normal and everybody should do it, but like being alone and comfortable with being alone and quiet, free of stimulation and anxiety-provoking things, that's apparently weird, and we should come out of our comfort zone onto the social side and do this because it's normal. But if we ever tried to get them to just be quiet for a minute and sit alone without people around, kind of sounds weird. I mean, that is what we do. That is what we enjoy. That is fine with us. But it's almost like shut up for a few hours and not speak. Get out of your comfort zone and just be quiet and sit in silence, alone, with no one around. Here, have a book. This will keep you entertained for hours. It's what we do. It really does sound kind of creepy. Maybe that's why no one says it. I don't know. But you know, it's not fair. It's just not fair that we can't say to them when they come at us like, oh, you should talk more. Like, you should do this. You should shut up. That would make me comfortable. It would make you comfortable if I participated in this thing that I don't enjoy, but I'm doing it just to placate you. It would make me comfortable if you would close your mouth, okay, for a while. Stop overstimulating me, because it's bothering me. Come to my area of comfort and be quiet, and we'll see how long you can go without squirming in your seat. Doesn't feel good, does it? Yes, stop forcing your crap on us. You wouldn't like it if we did it to you. And the thing that I started talking about, I mean, it goes the same way. People who do like things, they tend to push it on people who say that they're not interested or don't like it already. The conversation never goes like this. So, Game of Thrones. Yeah, actually, I don't like Game of Thrones. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's fine. That's cool. Okay, let's talk about something else. Great! Do you like cats? Yeah, it never goes that way. It's always, so, Game of Thrones. Yeah, I actually don't like Game of Thrones. I don't care for that sort of thing. Ooh, what? You don't like Game of Thrones? Have you even watched it? I bet you haven't even watched it. You really should watch it. How do you know you don't like it if you don't watch it? You have to watch it. It's just the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I mean, I know enough about it to know that it's not really my thing, and I don't really feel like doing it. It's just not something I'm interested in. Oh, but it's just the best thing ever. You have to. How could you not like it? It's so great. Promise me you'll watch it. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. You're gonna watch it. You have to. No. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yeah, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it. Promise me you'll watch it. No. But you have to watch it. It's just the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. I love it so much. I promise you'll love it. If you just give it a chance, you'll love it. No. Go away. Yeah, that's like, I've had that conversation about so many movies and so many bands and so many foods and everything ever. It's so annoying. I don't understand what makes people think it's okay to just shove their things in your face like that when it's okay to not like something and not be interested in it and not, like, I don't have to do this for you. This is me. I'm a human being. I'm strangely not attached to you. I am not feeding off of your life force. We are not joined in any way, shape, or form. It's okay if I don't want to do this or if I don't like this. It's okay if you like it. At no point in that whole conversation did I judge you for liking it. It was about me choosing to not be a part of it and you not being able to accept that. And that's rude. Why does nobody understand how rude that is? It's so rude. Because, I mean, it wouldn't go the other way. You know, it wouldn't go the other way. Like, they wouldn't say, like, oh, Game of Thrones, and then you would go like, oh my god, how could you possibly like that? Like, that's just so awful. They would think we were rude. So rude if we came at them for liking something. So why are we not allowed to dislike something without them just coming on us and like making us feel super on the outside for not liking this music or this movie or this food or this sport or this banana, that's food, you know, whatever, anything. It's just why is it like perfectly acceptable for people to be pushy in one personality group, but if the other one ever did it, it would be considered incredibly rude, you know? It's not fair. I don't know what we're supposed to do about this. But yeah, I'm sure that a lot of you introverts and people who like unconventional things or dislike conventional things have gone through this conversation way more times than you can possibly stomach, but yet you muddle through it, you try to get through it. It's really, really hard to sit through that amount of grilling and not get angry. And because the second you get angry, even though they've been rudely coming at you for like 5 minutes about this and don't realize how rude they're being, the second you kind of snap back with a little bit of attitude because it gets annoying and pointless and it's just like, oh my god, I just want to punch you in the face right now. So I'm just gonna throw a little bit of attitude at you because I'm getting pissed, right? Then you're the rude one. For being curt and short with them because you just can't take it anymore. And guaranteed this is not the first time you've had this conversation. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. So yeah, I deal with that a lot. It's very annoying. I try to be polite and civil, but it gets harder and harder every time. But not once have I snapped back at somebody and been like, oh, why do you like it? That's awful. I can't believe like you would like it. Nobody ever asks anybody to justify why they like something or why they are social or why they're outgoing. But we are expected to justify why we don't like something or don't want to participate in social activities or like what we like. It's so unfair. It's so uneven. It's so imbalanced. It's just fucked. And why is this acceptable? Why is this acceptable? That's the biggest question. You know what I mean? No one thinks about it. Most people have a problem with Christians, right? Okay? And I'm not trying to bring religion into this. I'm just saying there are a lot of people who practice other faiths or no faith at all who have a problem with Christians because they're very pushy. They're very pushy about converting people into being Christians, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody seems to understand the don't push your religion on me thing, but for some reason they just glaze over when it comes to don't push your sports team on me, don't push your movie on me, don't push your music on me, don't push your food on me, don't push your sister on me. And as a Christian, I personally am annoyed by the pushy Christians. Like, that's not cool either. I am not being a hypocrite at all, because I'm not a pushy Christian. Most of you guys probably don't even know I'm a Christian, because I don't talk about it, and I don't push it, and I don't care if people have other faiths or no faith. It doesn't matter to me. This is my personal belief. This is my personal way of living. It's just for me. I don't need everybody to agree with me. I don't need everybody to convert to my side. I don't need to question why everybody feels a different way around the globe. I don't care. I don't care. You do you. Do what makes you happy. I'll do what makes me happy, and we'll just float along down this river called life, and it'll be fine. So in general, I'm just super anti people being pushy, you know? Like, let people be what they are, and just don't be pushy. Fuck. Like, I don't mind the extrovert lifestyle. I think it's weird. I can't relate to it, but I don't judge them for it, and I don't think they should change, or I don't think they should try something outside their comfort zone. I think it's fine. Like, go do you. I'll go do me, and everybody will be happy. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I'm never gonna try to get an extrovert to change. I'm never gonna try to get a sports fanatic to stop liking sports. Just try it and try this other thing. Like, so what? Like, they're doing what they like. They're doing what they enjoy. They're living how they want to live. It doesn't affect me. So who cares? I mean, obviously it's different, you know, when JJ wants to, partake in an activity with me that he enjoys because we're in a relationship, he's an extrovert, we have different interests, and he wants to include me in something or expose me to something. Obviously that's totally different. That's not like a judgment thing. It's more like a, hey, I enjoy doing this, you've never done it, you know, I'd like it if, you know, I could share this with you, let's try it out. Usually I'm pretty humbug about it because You know, I already know it's not my thing, otherwise I would have done it already, you know what I mean? But I like sharing new things with him, and he does the same thing with me. Like, I've exposed him to introvert things, which he's enjoyed, and it's pretty cool. Like, we went to the Nutcracker. I took him to the ballet. He'd never been to the ballet, and he enjoyed himself, you know? It's different because it's a personal relationship thing, and there's no judgment involved. I'm not just like, oh my god, how can you stand to go rollerblading? It's like insane. You know, and he's not like, oh my god, how can you stand to just sit there and watch musicals with your cats all the time? Like, it's insane. No, it's just, we are who we are, and sometimes it's like, hey, I want to expose you to this. You want to do this thing with me? And it's like, oh, okay. You know, and we do it, and it's fine. Anyways, so that was just on my mind for a very long time because my whole life has been that way, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So leave me your thoughts and comments in this comment section down below there, and we'll talk about this some more because I'm sure there's a lot more to be said and examples and whatnot. So thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all. Go order some candles. Get yourself some candles. We get the nice new 16-ounce sizes now, and it's just so much fun. So, you know, check out the links to my shops in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Love you.